Welcome to RetroQuest, my retro video gaming podcast where I force my son to play old video games about guys who bite ears off. That landed nicely. I'm your host, the Joystick Cowboy, and with me as always is Sako.
The teenage prodigy.
Bam! Nailed it. How you like that for an intro?
Much better than the previous one.
Yeah. Let's not talk about the last intro.
Let's not go there.
Anyway, how you doing? How you doing, Sako?
Oh, I am doing just fabulous. How about yourself?
Well, doing pretty decently. Cannot complain in any sort. So this week we played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, a banger of a game, which let's just say it is fucking a banger. We can't even say it's not.
This game
before
made gaming great again.
So should we do that whole intro over again? Because I don't know if that one's gonna land.
I mean, the shot didn't.
Huh. So how was your week, Sako?
My week was pretty good. How about yours?
My week was delightful. Well, the past week and a half since last time we recorded.
Week and a half ish.
Yeah. So, what's been new with you?
What's new with me? Well, so we got the first scene of our movie finally filmed, which was I was nervous about it, but it actually turned out really good. I didn't have my people who are supposed to normally be on crew. They were busy, so I had to just ask someone from the cast, and I was like, "Hey, you want to just come hang out and help film?" And so I had one dude doing 3 people's jobs. And he was loving it though, so it was fine.
Nice. Did he like the kiss scene between you guys?
The what?
Huh? Oh, never mind. I thought it was a video on your phone. Anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
Anyhow. So yeah, that's what else you got going on this week? What you been playing? What you been playing, dude? Tell me what's been in your video game life.
So there's been as usual a lot of Call of Duty. My Call of Duty buddy is actually out of town though this week, so I'm not gonna be able to play Call of Duty. He gets back the 31st, so I won't have anyone to play Call of Duty with till then. I been streaming Uncharted. Was having a lot of issues too. My videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when I was streaming, halfway through the streams, my audio and video would just disconnect. There were no issues with the actual audio and the video. They both looked and sounded good. They just would slowly get further and further apart. But I figured out what the issue was. I was using
what was the issue?
So I was using 2 different encoders because I record and stream at the same time.
Okay.
And so using the 2 different encoders, I think was overworking my computer.
What encoders were you using?
So I was using, I think it's the one that OBS comes installed with, which is good if you're using it for one thing, but it takes a lot of memory. So now I'm just using my computer's AMD based built-in encoder for both of them, which is working fine, and the video quality doesn't seem any different to me from what I've seen. So
oh, that's right, I forgot you got an AMD. I was gonna say I like NVIDIA broadcast.
I think both my laptop and my PC are actually AMD. So yeah.
Maybe.
I prefer AMD because it's better for VR.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that laptop I got you, I'm pretty sure it has Intel in it. I'm not gonna lie.
It's AMD. It says
sure?
on the thing. Yeah, it says it.
Oh,
2
maybe it
stickers
was
on
AMD.
it. Yeah,
maybe that's why I gave it to you.
Yeah, because it has a AMD Radeon for graphics and a Ryzen 4805. What's it called? Core or processor or whatever.
Oh, well, sweet. Yeah, I've been seeing your Uncharted clips. I like the little Photoshop you do putting your face on Drake's face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Some of them take me really long, and the ones that take me really long look good, but the ones that I just kinda throw together real quick look so, like, so uncanny valley.
Dude, the one you did I saw you posted, like, yesterday where you have, like, a surprised look on your face. That shit was funny. I saw that last night when I was at work and I was kind of, had some downtime and I was going through my YouTube and I saw that thumbnail and I laughed. I laughed. I was like, "That was a funny picture."
Yeah, that only took me, like, an hour to do, actually. That was not too hard of a one. I don't know. I used to use Photoshop, but I switched over to GIMP, and GIMP just seems to work better. And like my computer slows down less, right? Like it's and I just get better like image from it. When I was using like Photoshop, the images just didn't come out looking like it didn't look as meshed together well, but like with GIMP it looks so like clean.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess GIMP's a little more user friendly. At least Photoshop's more technical. I use Creative Cloud whenever I do stuff. You know me. You know I got Audition and Photoshop and After Effects and all that shit that I never use but I pay for.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So yeah. So what else? Is that all you've been up to in your video game world this week?
um I also
How you got some? What's your kill death ratio in Call of Duty?
Um, so my KD, I usually play gunfight, which you might not know what that is. You're thinking of gun game right now, probably, which is different. But gunfight, my KD ratio varies anywhere from like 0.0 to 1.0. Sometimes I'm really my average right now is actually like I think 0.8 in gunfight because that's all I play. Uh, because I've been low key cooking up recently. Like I've been doing pretty good,
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah, but sometimes it's really bad. Like I will go all 6 matches with no kills. So, yeah, it's rough. Sometimes I just do really good and sometimes I just can't get it. Like the other night I was trying to play and when I'm not playing with my Call of Duty buddy, it's just not the same. I can't get as into it.
That's legit. I can understand that. If you have like somebody who you regularly play with, you makes it weird to not play with them.
Yeah, well, because for a while the thing was like it was like our end of night ritual when like he's off work, I'm off work, he's done like hanging out with his girlfriend and doing all his stuff for the day, and I'm done doing my stuff for the day. Like we just got on Call of Duty, played until we were both tired, and then got off. So like I got pretty good, but it's just when I try to play without him, it just doesn't feel like the same. It's like it's more boring almost.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Um. Okay. Anything else
um,
interesting?
I recently
Video
started a Minecraft
gamers
world with some of my friends.
like a Minecraft like server?
Like, well, not a server because we can only play it when the person who owns it's online. So, uh, but We've only played once actually so far, but we're gonna start playing more. I did that. Also, I don't know if you know what Gartic phone is, but I have some friends that like to play
Um.
Gartic phone.
Which remind me, I think I know what that is.
So, it's like it's this website where it's like, do you know what Jackbox is?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Jackbox, but for like purely art stuff. So
Oh,
like
okay, then that's not what I'm thinking it was.
yeah, it's like you like get a prompt, someone will make a prompt, and then you all go back and like you all write a prompt at the start, and then you all take turns drawing each other's prompts. Or like there's another game mode where like one person draws a head, next person draws a body, and the next person draw like their torso, and the next person draws like the legs. And like it's just a bunch of different game modes you can do to like, it's very, very fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so kind of got into that a little bit. That was a lot of fun. We've only played like twice though, so I
So,
actually
okay, so
I was gonna stream tonight, but I decided not to play Gartic Phone with my friends. So
cool.
yeah, What have you been up with? What's your world of gaming been like with your new what is it? The
The
SP.
Super Nintendo and my SP.
Oh
Well,
yeah, and the
let me
Super
tell you.
Nintendo.
So I was playing some I've been playing Pokemon Scarlet and Final Fantasy. I started Final Fantasy 15 because I never really put much time into it. And I've sunk, quite a bit of time into it now since after I beat 7 and did all the stuff, I was still in the mood for Final Fantasy, so I started Final Fantasy 15 because I never did it. Um, but I also the beginning of last week got a Super Nintendo Classic. So I spent a few days, loading games, taking games off, figuring out how I wanted it. Got it all figured out how I wanted to and stuck it in the living room. And then for the past 4 days, me and my wife have been playing Super Mario All Stars like
Oh yeah.
all day. Like the most beautiful thing in my world right now is the fact that my wife is sitting upstairs playing Super Mario Brothers with blisters on her thumbs. She her
Just like the good old days.
The warmest feeling in my heart when my wife was like, "Man, my thumbs are really bad and they really hurt. I need to put," instead of saying, "I need to put this controller down and not play for a while," she says, "I need to put some Band-Aids on my thumb so I can keep playing." God damn.
That one hit you in your soul, huh?
Oh, that was oh, man. Whew. I love you, girl. But yeah, there's been a lot of Super Mario, and oh my god, we're playing Dr. Mario. My wife is like a fucking Dr. Mario savant. Like, I thought I was decent at Dr. Mario until I played Dr. Mario with my wife. Holy shit. Like she's like we're playing Dr. Mario together and she's on like level like 17 and I'm on level like 5 and she's kicking my ass.
That's crazy.
That is crazy,
That's
but
actually
awesome.
insane.
That is nuts. So yeah, that's basically all it's been.
All retro games for you. I guess I also played a little bit
Yeah.
of Mario the other day. Well, yesterday. So I guess it hasn't just been my Call of Duty and Minecraft and Garlic Phone.
Okay. But yeah, it's been and then Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! I was
Like,
playing it
yeah.
on the Super Nintendo Mini because I obviously put a lot of games on my Super NES Mini. Um, I was playing that, and then I heard this weird rumor where my son lied to me, and he told me that he, like, basically beat Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! On his first go through.
Whoa, you're gonna spoil the whole episode
Whoa!
12 minutes in?
No, let's get to it. That's my week. Let's get to it. Fuck, that's enough. This week we played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, Sako. Now,
We sure
let's
did.
hear your tell me about your first impressions of fucking Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, Sako.
So, first thing I didn't know what was going on at first, right? Because I wasn't paying too much attention. I pressed load, and I was watching TV when I was first playing. When I first loaded it up, I turned it off very quickly because I realized how much attention I was gonna have to give to it. But so I was like watching my TV, and then all of a sudden I just heard the music, and I'm like, what? Because I completely forgot I loaded it up, and then I looked down, and Mike Tyson is staring into my soul. Right? It's a very menacing, like,
That's
16-bit
loading
rendition.
screen. That's an 8-bit rendition, homie.
It's a
That is
very
a very
menacing
menacing
8-bit.
look. I remember that kinda got me when I was younger.
I was like,
But
"Whoa, I didn't mean to. I was just gonna play the game." But so I loaded it up, and, um, you know, I took the first fight. I was having a hard time figuring it out. I didn't get knocked out at all because I very quickly realized how to, like, block and stuff. Also, I forgot to look at, like, the instruction manual and stuff like I said I was gonna start doing. I did
that
look
would've
at
helped.
Yeah, I didn't even know that the super attack existed until you showed me that literally, like, 2 days ago. I didn't even know what that
Yeah.
was. So, um, I was d I it that probably would've been great, but I completely forgot, like, when I was playing the game, I was just like, "Oh, man, I wanna play this game because 'cause I'd played it a little bit of it when I was younger. 'Cause our local arcade, you there's it's not a punch out machine, but there's,
Yeah, they got
there's like
Punch-Out!.
They have
They
Punch-Out,
got
like,
the
loaded
like a
onto, like,
NES, like a well, they got the at are you talking about,
Press Start.
down at Press Start? Yeah, they got, like, an old Punch-Out machine, like the original arcade machine, but that doesn't play like this, that plays more
Yeah.
like Super Punch-Out. And then
Yeah, but
they got that bootleg cabinet that has a bunch of ROMs loaded onto it.
yeah, that, and then it has
And
Mike
that
Tyson's
one
Punch-Out
has
on
Mike
there,
Tyson's Punch-Out.
and that's
It also
and
has,
that's
like, a
where I
bunch
played
of
it.
weird, like that cabinet, can we just talk about that cabinet for a minute? Remember, like,
It
our
has some
local
weird
arcade
stuff on there.
has an arcade that's like a Play Choice 30, like the t with the where you put the quarter in and you get it's like a timer, but they have hacked that Play Choice 30 to have, like, just a bunch of fucking ROMs, like, they have, like, more than they should even have. They have, like, Chinese knockoff ROMs on there. Like, remember when we were playing that, like, weird Super Mario Brothers game there where it was like Super
Oh my god.
Mario, but it was like a flash game, but it was like NES graphics, but Mario, like, ran and jumped, but he didn't mo his body his animations he didn't have animations, like, it was
Yeah, yeah,
just
I remember what you're
like a
talking.
s like, just like a static sprite, just, like, moving along
Yeah.
the thing. Oh my god. Alright,
It's
so
weird.
anyway, back to your first impressions.
Yeah, so that was technically the first ever time I played it, but I remembered, like, some of, like, the, mechanics as much as, like, uppercuts, like, is up and then attack, and then blocking is literally any other direction. So, those were the only things that the only tiny bits of knowledge that, like, I had going into it. And I never got past, like, I think the third guy when I played, because I was like, I haven't gone to press start for even like 2 years at this point, I don't think. So I had to have been like, what, 10 maybe when I played that thing.
Probably, yeah.
So, yeah, but so I got into it, and I beat the first dude. Not too. I mean, it took me like, what was it, 2 minutes and 57 seconds, to get him out, but I eventually did with 3 seconds to spare. Um, the thing is, like, I might have beat this game without losing technically, but most of them were very close calls. I didn't, because I didn't know what a super punch was. Most of them were like with 1 or 2 seconds to spare on the clock. Like, I did not
Okay.
know too much
So that
of
anyhow,
mechanics.
before we get too much into it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
let me get my first impressions out. So, I remember my older cousins having this game, um, back in the day when I was, a youngster, probably when it first came out, NES, and I sucked at this game so bad being young, and they were always so much better. It was one of those games I always throughout the years, as emulation became popular, I'd always chased it down, and I never really, really got good at the game, until it was actually on the Wii. When I had a Wii, I had this on my virtual console, and I played this every day. Like, for a good maybe almost a year and a half, this was one of the things that I would sit down, it was almost like my cup of coffee in the morning, I would sit down and I'd play through this and Mario 3 every day. It was just a part of my routine. I got to the point where I could beat this and Mario 3 in, like, together, like, maybe 45 minutes. Um
Damn.
so this I have more, nostalgia of this in my, like, 20s more than I do of nostalgia of this as a child, even though I played this so much as a kid. I just sucked at it, so it's hard to have nostalgia for something you just really sucked at. I
That's
think as a
fair.
kid, the farthest I could really get was, like, um, that the first bald bullfight. I think sometimes I could beat him and sometimes I couldn't, and that was about it. I
That's
think
fair.
one time I remember one time when I was, probably, maybe 10 or 11, I got to, Soda Popinski, and he smoked me within, like, seconds, and it was like a traumatizing fucking thing. I was like, "That guy is so crazy." But yeah, that's my first impressions with Mike Tyson's Punch-Out of that is a hard fucking game, and you have to really get the timing down. It's like I feel like it's like a rhythm game more than like a fighting game, because you have to get the
Yeah, you
rhythms of
told
the
me that
dodges and the punches.
when we were planning it, you were like, "You need to go into this with the, like, idea of a, what'd you
Like a
I don't
rhythm game.
a rhythm game." Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, that helped me. That bit of information definitely did help me, because it was in the back of my mind. Like, that
Because
definitely
like
was part of the
Like, really, the way I feel, and I could be wrong, but the way it feels to me is most of the moves, the way your enemies move kinda go with the music. Like, they're not necessarily the music says what they're gonna do, but their moves are all in step with the music. So if you're kinda going with the music, even if you're not moving at that moment, you moving with the music, like, is kinda how I got good at it, and I got pretty good at it, you know?
yeah.
But anyway, since we're let's just talk about the game period. This fucking game is awesome.
Oh, yeah. This is a really, really good, like, game.
Like, this, like, is actually one of my I would say in of not just NES games, but top 10 all-time games. Easy is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Like I said, as a kid, even though I sucked at it, man, I fucking always wanted to play it because I just it looked so cool. When you watch someone playing this game good, it looks fucking cool.
Wish I was that good. Did
I
not
don't
look
know.
cool.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room. You beating this game on your first sit down.
I know. I'm really sad that I did too, because I was
I
really hoping to,
really
like
I I
I know you don't
find
believe
that
me.
like, how much rewinding did you really do?
I only rewinded in 2 fights,
I find that
and that
hard to
was
believe.
that was the dude who has the bull rush, and that was just because I could not get the timing down to hit him when he's coming at me. So at some point, I just started, like, because he kept knocking me out, so I kept, like, using rewind. I was just like, "Okay, you know what? Whatever." So I just used rewind so I could finally get a hit on him,
See,
and then
what you're gonna sit there and tell me is that not only did you beat this game on basically your first real sit down with the game, but you beat this game without even the knowledge of a super punch?
yeah, I had no clue what it was.
What did you think those stars were?
I just thought that was like a like maybe score thing that I'd get at the end of the game, like how well I performed, like the correct hit, you know?
I guess.
Like I thought maybe they'd add up at the end and like I'd get like bonus attack towards fighting Mike Tyson or something.
I guess. Well, I guess in case anybody has never played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, which if you're listening to this podcast, I highly doubt, but I will give you a little bit of the storyline of the game. So, basically,
Storyline.
you're little Mac, and you're like a little boxer from the Bronx, and you're like a midget, I'm assuming, or you're a small person. Sorry if I made an offensive comment there.
Either that
Um,
or everyone
but
else is just huge.
either that or you're in, like, level 4 of Mario World, but in Brooklyn, because everybody, like, towers over you, like, tremendously. Like, maybe you're a child fighting adults, I don't know.
Oh
Maybe this is
man.
like maybe this is like Mike Tyson's Fight the Pedophile, who knows? These are all weirdos. Uh, that's horrible. Yeah, Mr. Sandman.
Yikes.
But anyway, so you're Little Mac, and you got a coach, Doc Lewis, and you just go through these matches. There's like 4 circuits, I think 4 fights per circuit, maybe. Am I getting that right?
It's either 3 or 4.
I think there's like
There's
what?
like
How many
36 fights, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's more than that. But anyhow, um, so you go through the matches. You get a at the end of each like circuit, you do like a big fight, and then after that, you do like a jogging scene to get a password. And it's like dun, 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 dun. That is like a very. It's not Eye of the Tiger, but it's very motivational in an 8-bit fucking sense.
Yeah,
Like,
it definitely
I thought that
is.
was also one of the coolest scenes the or things in the game too, was that scene. Every time you got that little dun 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 dun, because it hyped you up. It hyped you up that you just beat a guy who was, the like the boss of that level basically, you know? And now we're on to the next one. Like I wish every game had a little scene like that where you're like traveling to the next level, just dun 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 dun.
Yeah. It's really it's really, like, really motivational, gets you in the mood, makes you feel like you're actually there.
Right, and then Little Mac has 6 basic moves. He has a left and a right jab, left and right body blows, and left and right dodges. He can block and duck and uppercut, you know? And the uppercuts, you have to, have a star, which Sako apparently didn't know about.
Well, you
And
don't have to
that's
have a
when
start to
you
uppercut.
well, like the
To do
well, like
super punch
the super punch is what I would consider uppercut, because like the the up punches aren't necessarily uppercuts. Those are just, like jabs, like
Those are like
top
yeah,
like
those are like jabs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying. My
so
bad.
the uppercut is your special punch, and you get those stars by hitting someone when they flash, like before they're gonna do a one of their special moves, or if you hit them in like a like catch them off guard, like in between like punches or something, you can get them, or you just basically have to do something like cool and you get them. Got your hit meter, which you can replenish between matches. You get 3 matches per fight, and if you don't win all 3 of them and they all time out, then they rank you, and I'm pretty sure they always pick the other person
Yeah,
when they
it's
have
no
to do
matter
like
what.
a
Even if you haven't taken one hit and you've got this person down so many times, it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
they will always pick the other person, so that's basically a loss. And you can either win by knocking them down 3 times, knocking them out, or the technical decision, which I wouldn't even count because they're never gonna pick you.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
don't think it's coded
basically
in for them to.
Yeah, that's basically the game. On paper sounds boring, but then you look at it and you got these sprites for these enemies that you're fighting, and they're so animated and they're fucking awesome looking, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like on paper, just describing the game, you're like, oh, it's just like a generic boxing game. The personality is what makes this game awesome. The gameplay is top of the line, but the personality, like every enemy you fight is like just giant, awesome looking sprite.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you don't see
Especially for,
sprites
like,
that
an
big.
eight-bit game.
Yeah, you
Like,
don't
these
see
are some
sprites
very,
that big in
like,
8-bit
detailed
games.
personality, like
Like, I mean, look at Glass Joe. I mean, the first guy you fight. I mean, usually they don't, put everything into every single enemy, but like Glass Joe has just as many animations as any other character. He has, special moves. He has special moves. He has, weaknesses, a lot of weaknesses, and no strengths because
most
he's
of them are
obviously
weaknesses.
he's supposed to be the weakest character, like basically like you can't lose to him, but they put in as much effort into his sprites and his animations as anybody else, which is cool.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it
I
really is.
really love the art in this game, like,
I do too. I'm with you on that one.
and the fact that somehow Mike Tyson was able to like land his name on this game in the beginning, like, was a very smart decision on his part. For whatever reason, that his name eventually got taken off. The fact that he recognized that as a boxer, that hey, I want my name on this Nintendo game. You know, I don't know the exact details of how it came to be, but right place, right time. Shit, Mike Tyson will forever be tied with one of my favorite video games of all time.
That's fair though. Like this game, like even having played it before and kind of seen it, this game turned out to be way more solid than I was expecting.
Oh, this game is solid, buddy. Um, so yeah, let's look at all the different people you fight. So first person
So
you fight is Glass Joe, who
pretty
is
easy to.
basically like the easiest guy in the world. He's skinny. Um, if you get him in a left right combo loop, you can basically knock him out right away. He opens himself up for like a one hit knockdown pretty easily. Each enemy usually has like a special move that if you can hit them at a certain time during their like, they have their special moves, and they have like their extra special moves where they like usually jump back and they move around the ring a little bit and then come at you. And if you hit them at a certain point in that, it's like an instant knockdown. It won't knock them out always, but it's like an instant knockdown. And some of the enemies have bigger windows in which you can land that hit. And his window for when you can land that hit is huge. You can always hit him in the gut when he comes at you and just knock him right down. And if you time it right with that first knockdown, you can actually KO him within like 30 seconds of the fight.
Yeah, I watched you do that the other day when you were
Yeah,
playing
it
this game
was
on the mini SNES in the living room. I was like, "What just happened?"
yeah, it
Like I
was
couldn't
just
even
like
beat
you
Glass Joe like quick like I watched you beat him in the first round, and I was like, "What?"
yeah, Glass Joe is so easy. And then you knock him down. Then the second guy you got is Don Kaiser.
Von throws
Von
Von
Kaiser.
Kaiser.
Yeah, Von Kaiser. And he's like a German guy. I don't know. He's like the
I
least
think so.
interesting
It
character. Yeah.
he has a German he comes up in the game twice though.
Yeah, he does come up in the game twice. But no, wait, no, he doesn't. No, you saw me fight him twice because I lost that fight
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah, my bad, my
Piston
bad.
Honda, and they sent me back to him, and because you were like, "Hey, you're fighting him again," and I was like, "No, I lost that match." But yeah,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Out of anybody in this game, he's probably my least favorite, and simply because he's kind of boring. Like,
He
like
doesn't have
he
much
has a cool,
personality behind his, like,
yeah,
attacks.
like he moves his mustache a little bit, and he doesn't. I don't know. He's just kind of a boring fight. He's the guy where if you get him in the left right jab, like face jab combo, if you go left and right, you can basically keep him in a fucking loop until you
Stunlock?
knock him down. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
stun lock him till he's down. Um, for the most part, he's easy, but he doesn't have the personality of Glass Joe. So I just, yeah,
Yeah.
because he'll throw like a right uppercut at you, and then you'll just alternate left and right punches, and he'll just stay stunned till he gets knocked down. And that's, I mean, you can kind of do that with Glass Joe too, but Glass Joe has personality. I don't know. Juan Kaiser, I would put him as like the C tier of the characters in this game.
That's
And then
fair.
after that, you got Piston Honda, who I think shows up like he shows up. I know at least twice.
Yeah, I'm pretty
He
sure
doesn't
he
show up.
shows up a couple times.
Yeah, because you fight him at the end of the minor circuit. And he's cool. I like him. He has a lot of personality. Um, like it seems like they put a lot of effort into him, and it might be just because I've fought in him a lot of times. It seems like, but I like him. You made a comment that you think he may have been modeled after maybe someone who worked on the game.
I did not. You made that comment. What are you talking about?
No, you were saying something, and then I was like, yeah,
He
that
I
they
was
maybe
saying he
they.
looks like I was saying, he looks like, what's his name? Jackie Chan. Is he reminded me of Jackie Chan, like a big fighter dude like that. Uh,
Oh,
and then you were like, "Oh, I think he's modeled after, one of the developers of the game." I was like, "Oh,
was that me that said that?
yeah, it was you that said
Oh, I thought
yeah,
you said that. Well, either way, I was just saying that if that's the truth. I thought I heard maybe I thought I heard you say that because I swear I was saying that because I thought you had said that.
no, yeah, because well, I didn't say Jackie Chan, but that's who I was thinking of. I couldn't remember his
Well,
name off the top of my head.
maybe I misunderstood you, and I was like, yeah, he was, and I think that's how the conversation went because you were talking about something. I was like, yeah, well, maybe he was just because you were I think you were saying how he had more animations or something than it seemed like some other characters, and like
Yeah,
they
for,
put
like,
more
such a
effort.
simple character.
They
Yeah.
put more effort into him, and I was like, well, maybe he was modeled after, one of the workers there, so they was kinda like, yeah, okay, so that's how it went, yeah. But I like him. I like his moveset, his eyebrows. He pops his eyebrows at you. I like that. The
Yeah.
animation of his eyebrows, it looks cool. He's kind of a fucking pain in the ass though, man. Like the first time you
He's
fight
pretty
him,
strong.
like he serves as a good first boss. He's all right. The first time you fight him, but goddamn that second time. And then after you fight him, you beat him, and then you do your little dog or your jog with the doc. Dun, 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 dun. And then you end up in the second circuit, and you fight Don Flamenco, who is
A
I like this
Spanish
guy,
dude.
man. The Spanish
He's
guy,
he has the rose, right? Like, he starts with, like,
yeah,
the rose in
and
his mouth or
he
something?
does like the bullfighter like stance when he like does things. Like I like
Yeah.
him. He has a lot of personality. He exaggerates his punches so much.
Oh, yeah.
It's so awesome the way
He
he
exaggerates
exaggerates
them
his
so much,
punches.
it's his downfall, actually, because it's
Yeah.
while he's, like, winding up for, like, a punch that you usually can get him.
Well, you can get him after I think what is it? He does like a combo. You can get him and into one of those stun lock left right things. You do something and his toupee comes off his head or something, and then you can start hitting him with that left right hook combo, and he'll stay stunned till he's down. That's and you can do that every time he gets up. You just do that same thing. Wait for the opening, boom. Like you can get him down on the um what is it? The first
Uh,
round easy.
the first round, yeah.
And then if you have a star punch and you can like dodge his little flurry of attacks and hit him with the star punch, that'll be like an instant KO trick.
Yeah, he's not super hard, is what I discovered, but he's got a lot of personality, and
Yeah,
I liked the
well, you fight
conflict.
him
You fight him
again,
like twice.
but the first time you fight him, he's super easy because, like I said, you can get him into those that stun lock real easy. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, next after him is I'm trying to think of
King
who's after
Hippo.
him.
I'm pretty sure it's King
Oh yeah,
Hippo.
King Hippo. King Hippo. See, he's awesome. See, what King Hippo sticks in my mind a lot because there used to be an old show called Captain N the Game Master, and
Mm.
this the opening like credit scene of Captain N is him playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out with his like NES arcade stick, and he's fighting Mike Tyson or he's fighting King Hippo, and that's when he gets sucked into the fucking TV. So I would see that every time I watched that cartoon with the scene would just always show King Hippo, so he's stuck in my head. And he's cool. He's easy. He hits like a fucking train. Like if he lands a
Dude,
hit on
he
you, he will
yeah,
get you. But all you have to do is punch him till his pants fall down, and then you just start hitting him in the stomach, and you
it's
got him.
basically a
Like
free win from there.
yeah, and as soon as
He
you
only has to
knock
get
him
knocked down
down,
once.
yeah, he can't get up. So
He's a
he's an
tank.
easy one, but he's a fucking tank because if you
Yeah,
don't dodge that first or you don't dodge his attacks or even blocking him, I think even blocking it wears you out quicker than other fighters. I could
yeah.
be wrong on that, but
I'm pretty sure it does.
it felt like his attacks were wearing me out more. And then after that, you got the Great Tiger, which
Was the first fight that I
he's
had to use a rewind on.
he is more difficult. I like
He
him,
well,
but
so
he's the more
he's not
difficult.
hard. He's not hard at first. He's a relatively easy fight at first once you get the vibe down, and then
Well,
he walks backwards
the
and
thing with the thing
literally has
the
shadow clones.
yeah, like that's yeah. The thing I find hard at him is the everybody when you get the stars, like they flash, like their body will flash basically. And that's how you know they're vulnerable to for an attack and get a star. His flash is the tiny little ruby on his fucking turban. And you have to basically be just staring at his turban to see the flash to take that hit or to get that hit on him. So you're paying attention to the ruby on his turban and he's fucking pummeling you because you're trying to just get that hit. So you either have to memorize the right times to hit him or just try to work without it. And then if he gets you with that shadow attack thing and you don't have the timing on
It,
those blocks,
it's a one hit.
you're fuck you're hit with that because that will tear you up.
This was the first fight that I was I could not beat it for the life of me. So I this was the first time I started using rewind, and it was one of the two fights that I had. It was one of the two fighters I'd use rewind against. But man, this dude is rough because when he's a clone, the timing to be able to yeah, so you have to block his hits, and then you have a short period of time because he gets exhausted where you can hit him.
Yeah.
And
He's
that was
he's
rough.
a
It is so
fucking
hard to
pain.
block his
Like
hits.
that's I think that's the first time in the game when you hit a spot where you're like, "Holy shit, that is very technical." Like you have to be good at the game because the other ones you don't I mean, obviously you have to be decent, but you can kind of, fudge the numbers on the way through. But once you get to the Great Tiger, if you don't have the timing down on your blocks or your dodges, you're not gonna make it through that fight. And then you make it through that fight, you get to fucking the first bald bull fight, which is like the first boss who will, because he is very technical and he hits hard. You know, he does have a lot of openings in that first fight, so it's not super tough. But he when he lands his punches, he takes down nice chunks of your health.
Yeah.
He
He's
has that thing where he does that bull charge, which is kind of cool. To get him on the one hit KO, not KOs, but knockdowns. But man, that first bald bull fight, that is another well deserved boss of the second circuit, the major circuit.
oh yeah, for sure.
And then you get to what is it, the world circuit, which is um the first fight is Piston Honda, the boss from the first
Yep.
circuit, and on this fight he is hard, is a fucking asshole.
He's rough, dude, and his gaps to, like, get him are so much smaller.
Yeah, his windows like are so much smaller. Like it's by this point, once you're on the world circuit, you better have some technical skills because you're not fudging the numbers no more. You're not just kind of mashing buttons and getting through it. Now you're actually you have to get the timings down. You have to learn the signals that they give you when they're going to do things. You know, so you beat Piston Honda, and then you get to Soda Popinski, the guy of my nightmares when I was a kid. Um, do you know that originally his name was Vodka Drunkinski?
Really?
Like he's a Russian guy whose name is Vodka Drunkinski, but when they brought I think it's when they brought the game to America, they were like, we cannot do that. That's not because and it wasn't because of the racial overtones like you would think. That was fine. They didn't care about that. We can't talk about booze in a Nintendo game. Like, they didn't care about the racial stereotypes and how offensive that name was. It was more about like, "No, no, no, we're not gonna have alcohol in our game." So they changed him to Soda Popinski.
That's funny.
And 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 as a character, as a kid, he was very intimidating to me. He's very lanky. He looks, I don't know, more intimidating. Or maybe that's just because his hits he's one of the first characters where it's like he's gonna have a lot of one hit knockdowns on you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? There are other characters who do have those one-hit knockdowns, but he is full of one-hit knockdowns. You know, with small windows, you get through him, you get to the second bald bullfight, which is just a fucking stronger version of the first bald bullfight. You know, and then you get to Don Flamenco, which is another stronger version of the Don Flamenco fight, which on that second version, you can't get him in the stun lock. So
Yeah, no.
you have to actually learn the timing. Like you can't, you know, there's no once you get to this point, there's no stun lock in. You can get stars. Most of the people that have one hit knockdowns, their window is so small that you better know that timing or not even try. Um,
Yeah.
because after Don Flamenco, the second one where he's a beast, you get to Mr. Sandman, which I never got past Mr. Sandman honestly until I was in my fucking 20s. Like until I had played this
Damn.
game for like 6 months every day and then I could finally do Mr. Sandman. I think he is super hard. For a long time, I thought he was like the end boss of this game, and
Yeah.
then you just walked in there and beat him up, huh?
No, he was rough. I'm pretty sure he was one of the guys who had, like, a second whiff at the end. Like, it it took me till, like, halfway through the second round to even figure out, like, how to start getting hits in on him.
Is it just me, or does his NES sprite look like he's like kind of homeless?
I
Like
mean,
his afro,
kind of.
like the hair on his sprite looks like it's just like uncombed. It like sticks out at like uneven angles, and I don't know. He look always like oh that must be like I don't know
Homeless representation in a
homeless
Mario game.
representation. He has that a big snarl looking on his face, and even the way he like held his boxing gloves somehow for some reason always intimidated me. Like you can't block any of his attacks. Yeah, he has no one hit knockdowns, and he will tear your shit up. Like literally. Actually, I think you can do instant knockdown if you use a star punch
Well, I wouldn't
uh
know.
during one of the uppercuts.
Well, I
Huh.
wouldn't
I
know.
think because now that I'm thinking about it, I think I hit him with a star punch when he was like doing something and it actually knocked him down. Huh.
Or maybe you already had him
Anyway,
low at that point.
yeah, but I don't think you can get him any stun locks at all. You might be able to if you can. I never fucking figured out how.
Not that I
Um,
remember. I don't think I did.
so you get him, and all these punch out characters. I wanted to when I was younger think they were like modeled after real life boxers, but I could never. I don't know enough about boxing. Maybe they are. I don't think
I
they
mean,
are.
I'm pretty interested in boxing. They don't look like. I mean, obviously, some of them hold resemblances to like some real boxers, but like, I
Because
don't
like
think
what
they're
always threw me
modeled
off
after
too
anyone
was like
seriously.
the next guy, Super Macho Man, who looked nothing like the Macho Man from WWF, which always confused the fuck out of me. I'm like, how is he the Super Macho Man? Like, he does not look like he will take a snap out of a Slim Jim at all.
That's funny. That's a good one. But
For real,
yeah.
Super Macho Man looks kinda like I don't know, he looks I always thought he looked weird. Like, he looked like a weird, like I don't know, I always thought Super Macho Man just looked weird to me, like he was very V-shaped and, like, he had that big chin. He looked like nowadays, I would say he almost kinda looks like the guy from Family Guy, or not Family Guy, but American Dad, but not like
But in a weird
but
way. Like,
in
not
a
like
weird way. Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
can
think
kinda see that.
I like his sprite because I
Kinda
like all the sprites, but I always thought his looked just I mean, weird. Like, I didn't it didn't look intimidating to me. It didn't look like a guy who was about to rock my shit, and then he would proceed to
he looks
rock
like a
my
scared old
shit.
man. Honestly, he kinda looks like a scared old man, like, when you're
He
about
does.
to fight him.
He doesn't look all, like, intimidating like the rest of them. On Super Punch-Out, he's ripped and got a scowl and he kinda looks like the old, like, guy he'll kick your ass, but on NES Punch-Out, he just he didn't look I was, like, always kinda like, "Oh, that's the next guy after fucking Mr. Sandman?" Like, Mr. Sandman looks mean, like, Mr. Sandman looks like he'll rob you after he fucking beats you up. He looks like he's from Detroit. I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Sandman's, like, backstory
He's
is
from,
that
like,
he's, like, from
Philadelphia, isn't he?
Phil okay, that tracks still, you know, yeah, so you go to the super intimidating guy, and then you go to fucking Super Macho Man who isn't intimidating, but he will fuck your shit up.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
He's not to be underestimated, which is
there's
to be
not a
expected
there's
because
a
he is the title bout for the World Circuit.
yeah, he's the guy before you fight Mike Tyson, so of course he's gonna kick your shit. Um, but nothing like Mike Tyson, because if you do beat him and you get to
Dude,
Mike Tyson will push your shit in. Like like one hit punch every time, and if he lands a punch on you, you're going down.
Mike Tyson
Um,
is scary.
like that's the kind of fight where just fighting him one time, like makes you be like, oh shit, should I even be playing this game anymore? Like that's the
I beat the main game, why am I
uh
still here? So the thing
like
with Mike Tyson though is he starts out and it feels like, "Oh man, this isn't gonna be too hard." Right? Because his like beginning moveset kind of reminds me of Piston Honda's, right? He gets low,
yeah.
you can punch him while he's low, and then he does an uppercut. You can punch him like right as he does that uppercut, right? But then he just starts throwing these like jabs that come at the speed of sound.
Yeah,
And
like he's
it's
being all cool, like you're like, okay, it's another one of these guys. He's got a rhythm. We're gonna block here. We're gonna move here, and then like he turns it around on you, and then suddenly he just starts fucking throwing them. You can't get the timing right because the timing isn't like I don't know. It's hard to track for some reason for me at least on those punches because it's like you don't really have time to even put the button inputs in between them. Like you have to be putting the button inputs before he does it to like land it in time
yeah,
with him and I remember when I first did play this game back in the day, and I would watch like YouTube back in YouTube infancy, um,
yeah,
on little videos on Mike Tyson because I was like, "Fuck, I need to figure this out." I know there's an instant knockdown. You can get him, about 3 seconds into the game. He'll start blinking. Like he's very, very, very hard to hit that timing. But if you can hit that first knockout 3 seconds into the game, that does put you in a good mode. But after that, basically the only trick is to try to land a punch after he does an uppercut. I think he leaves himself open for a punch. And
yeah.
that's about it.
You have like there's two he literally most of the guys have like 3 or 4 like windows like that
Yeah.
come and go that you can hit them. Mike Tyson has 2 windows that come like maybe 5 6 times around.
Yeah, so you have to be landing those and like with Mike Tyson there's almost no room for mistakes. There
Oh
is no
no.
room for mistakes. If you make a mistake, you're probably not going to win that match. So yeah, and that's the roster. And every single I wanted to talk about every single one because I like every single one of these characters. I mean, Von Kaiser, even though he's my least favorite, I still like him. He's still a huge fucking sprite on the NES, that had fluid animations. The whole thing about this game was how fluid it was had that's how it felt, tight. It was, responsive.
It's crazy that
So
this game feels, like, as fluid as something like Mario on the SNES. Like,
yeah.
it's as fluid as water, dude. Like,
Fuck,
it
this game is as fluid as, like, Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo.
honestly, yeah. It's very,
Like,
like, it's very well moving, right? Like, nothing no single sprite animation looks out of place for even a frame. Like, it all blends together super well, which is insane on an 8-bit like, an 8-bit processing unit in an NES. Especially this was very didn't this game come out, like, relatively early life NES too? Like, maybe early to midlife NES?
this game?
Yeah.
No, this was I believe it was pretty early in the NES,
Yeah.
lifespan, because it came out in '87, so, I mean, I guess it was, getting on in years, but it's yeah, I
That's
guess
some
it
pretty
wasn't.
that's some it's like early to midlife, I'd say. You said
I
87?
mean,
That's like early
that's what,
midlife.
3, 4 years after launch, so I guess for some reason in my mind, it feels like super early in the NES, but I guess maybe it wasn't because
Yeah,
I was
because
about
that's early
7 or
midlife,
8 when
which,
I played it. Yeah, so, I mean,
like,
and this represents so much. I actually like the style of this game much more than the Super Punch-Out. Because Super Punch-Out's more like the original arcade Punch-Out where, like, your character is the same size as the other guys, and they're, like, wireframe and you can see through them.
what?
I like yeah,
Wait, what?
yeah, like, it on the Super Punch-Out and on the, like, Punch-Out arcade game, like, your character is the same, like, size as the other sprites,
So you can
um
see through the dude?
But you're, like instead of being, like, first person, you're behind him, but he's wireframe so that you can see the opponents. That's why they made Little Mac
That's
so small on the NES is if he was the same size, you wouldn't really be able to see all the different animations and everything going on. So they made
yeah,
him super small so that you could see it. Well, in the arcade and on the Super Nintendo on Super, Punch-Out, instead of doing that, they placed them, like, level, but they had you be wireframe, like green wireframe, so you can see through you. Like, look at a couple screenshots sometime of it, or we can play. I got it on the mini upstairs. It's all right. It's not a bad game. Like it's fun. Like it's super fun. But I prefer the way this game looks and feels to that one.
sounds like I would too. I can't stand wireframe, like, graphics.
Well,
Seeing
I
through
mean,
my
everything
character
else looks
gets on
beautiful.
my nerves.
Like the thing is,
I
everything
guess
that
so,
game
but that just gets to me.
I'll tell you the animations on the Super Punch-Out, like, the sprites on that are oh my god, they're super beautiful too. Like, they're drawn great, their animation is great, like, there's like, the Super Punch-Out is an amazing game just like this game. I just prefer NES Punch-Out.
That's fair.
That's just a personal
I
preference. A lot of
personally think
people
I would too,
probably
though, because
disagree with me.
I really can't stand wireframe. Like, being able to see through any character at any given point for, like, any non-story based reason, like, just it being a mechanic
Well, I mean,
is
it's
so
just
wrong to me.
logically there
Like, it
wouldn't
makes
the only
sense, but
other
it being a mechanic just gets to me. I can't
'cause
stand
I
that.
mean, think about it, they could do first person, but then all you're gonna see is, like, your fists. They want you to still see your animations, like,
Yeah,
to what you're gonna do, like, you're blocking, you're timing, you're gonna see you,
which is why
so
Little
blah, blah,
Mac
blah.
is such a good idea because you can see all of his animations and everybody else's animations.
Yeah.
That's so,
Well,
like,
I
just
love
from
the
hearing,
even the music in this game, like, it's very
it's solid.
basic, but each character well, not each character, 'cause I think no, I think each character has their own opening themes, right? I know the Great
Maybe?
Tigers or some of them are recycled. No, I think so because I think the Great Tiger, his is like Rise of the Valkyries, and then, I think someone else has Rise of the Valkyries as their, like, intro. Is it Macho Man as Ride of the Valkyries?
Maybe?
I can't remember, but they all kinda have, like, their own little theme intro, um, and they're when in between matches, if you go between matches in the same fight, they all have little quotes like they're talking shit to each other back and forth. Like Little Mac's quotes are like he's like, "Oh, I don't know, coach, I can't do it," or his coach being like, "Come on, you can get him." And then you'll have the other character being like, "I'll fuck you up."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'll punch the soda off your face or something. I don't know, something stupid like that tracks with their I
Yeah, yeah,
can't think
yeah.
of any I can't think of any quotes off the top of my head, but you know what I mean? Like, I like the little back and forth they have, and if you press A, I think it's the A button repeatedly really fast during the in between, you can recover some life too.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah.
like, the music is awesome, like, the animation, everything is awesome, but anyhow, I've been rambling about this game on a for so long. Just talk I can suck this game's dick all night, but we're gonna go ahead and kinda start wrapping it up. So first of all, let's put a fucking score and a bow on this shit. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna probably be around the same area. So 8-bit game. So what would you give Mike Tyson's Punch Out
7.
Santiago Sacco? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, hey, whoa. Hold on there. Hold on, let me finish what I'm saying. What reverse score would you give Mike Tyson's Punch Out for the NES, Sacco?
Why'd you say reverse score?
Like a negative, like what would be the opposite score?
I guess a 1?
So you would give this a 9?
Out of 10, no, it's an out of 8 because it's an 8-bit
Oh,
game.
okay. Okay, I just confused myself. I thought I was being clever because yeah, I'm not clever. Out of a 1 to 8, what would you give this game?
7.
Alright, I'm gonna also give it a 7. I can't give it necessarily an 8. You know what? I'm gonna give it an 8. I give this game an 8. I was gonna start thinking of
I had a
things that I
feeling.
couldn't give it an 8 for, but the minute I said I couldn't give it an 8 for this reason, I couldn't think of a single reason why I wouldn't give this game an 8. There's nothing I do not like about this game.
There's no
Um,
reason I can't give this game an 8. There's nothing about this game that I don't like, but I think maybe just because it's one of those games where I seem to have just picked up on so quick, I'm looking for something. I don't want to say more of a challenge because I'm scared of what you're gonna pick if I say I want more of a challenge. Because then you're gonna pick something that I hate because it's too challenging. But I'm looking for something that's enjoyable with like a little bit like it's harder to get behind so quickly, right?
gotcha.
Yeah,
So
that'll be
you're
my
gonna
8. There
give
will probably be one game ever that gets an 8 for each console, and those will be my game for that console.
I can't believe you didn't give The Legend of Zelda an 8.
I didn't I'm pretty sure I only give it like a 6. I don't
Well,
think it's too high on my list.
we had a different scoring system
Oh, yeah,
then,
we did
but
it out of but we did it out of the Triforce pieces, which was,
Triforce
like, still
pieces,
8,
which
wasn't it?
yeah, I think it was still 8, yeah.
So, yeah,
Um, anyhow, yeah, I mean, yeah, so I gave it an 8, you gave it a 7, very, very respectfully. Now let's pick our next game for the show. I had a spreadsheet that I had made, that had all the games, like, that I wanted to do for the show, like, completely, like, but I seem
yeah.
to have lost that fucking spreadsheet. So, I
What?
know some of the games off the dome though, so, let me think. Let me think. What is now? It's gonna be what, episode 18? Let's
Man, we should've
see.
done Friday the 13th for the 13th episode.
Yeah, but we did fucking Magic of Scheherazade.
Solid.
Fucking
Honestly, I
no,
didn't dislike the
no,
game.
not solid at all. I fucking did not like that game.
I can't believe
Um,
I liked that game more
I'm
than
gonna
you did.
I'm gonna do a game just because I wanna see how you feel about this game.
Okay.
Not a lot of people have a high opinion of this game, although I do.
Oh,
So
no.
we're gonna play,
It's
and
Zombies Ate My Neighbors again.
no, I'm gonna say this, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, really? Either what is that game, or he picked that game." But I want to play Street Fighter 2010 for the NES.
Okay. I'm cool I like Street Fighter.
Okay, okay,
I love
fair.
Street Fighter.
Wait, stay, um, save that comment for when you've actually played the game, and then we'll come back to that comment.
Okay. Is this gonna be one of those ones where we have to play together, or do I have it on my RetroArch.
No, you should. It's an NES. You should have it on your RetroArch. Um,
Okay.
so we'll do that. Do you have any announcements or plugs or anything like that?
Um, I now have a streaming schedule up on Twitch, and if you're looking for updates about that streaming schedule, like if I'm going to be late, early, or not stream that day, my Instagram is generally where you can find those because I post them on Instagram and Snapchat, which you aren't getting my Snapchat. So, yeah, if you want to see me stream some games, although they generally probably won't be retro, maybe I will start streaming some of the retro games we play, but there's a very big if. Um, because these are games I play in my free time, like my downtime that I can just do whatever I want. Uh, you can watch me stream a lot of games. I'm almost done with the Uncharted series, so I'm actually going to be looking for some game suggestions, trying to see what series to start up next. Play some games that aren't exactly series, just get some like fun streams in there, and you can come hang out.
Sweet.
All in the link tree.
Well, all in the link tree. Yep. And this, of course, I am Joystick Cowboy. I'm not really doing anything special right now. I got my link tree is all up on the RetroQuest link tree, which should be in the description of wherever you're listening to or watching this. Of course, you can catch us on YouTube at RetroQuest Podcast. We are on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on um, Amazon Music. Basically, wherever you're listening to us now, just keep listening to us there. But you may find us somewhere else if you try. Um, but I hate when people are like, you're listening to a podcast and they're like telling you where you can listen to them while you're listening to them. Um,
Yeah.
that's weird to me. But yeah.
I guess I can
Anyway, all
understand
the,
it though, because like if I'm watching on YouTube, I don't want to listen to podcasts off YouTube. So it's like, oh, I can go
some
watch
people
this on
do.
Spotify. Cool.
If you got YouTube, what is it, YouTube Red or whatever? Not YouTube Red, where you can listen to
Yeah.
videos with the video off, and some people do that. Or YouTube Music. Some people listen to podcasts. But yeah. So other than that, that's all I got. All my links are in the description, or the link tree is in the description, or all the links are in the link tree. So other than that, anything else for you?
Uh, what is it? I need to think of a new. How do I say goodbye in a different language? Sayonara. That's I haven't said that one yet, have I?
Um, I don't know, but you know what I'm gonna say? I'm just gonna say
Arziato
bye.
Laverci.
I'm gonna
Arziato Laverci.
don't say that. I'm gonna say bye. Bye.